Good evening. Welcome to the July 5th update on Tropical Storm Elsa here, located over Cuba. It is currently about to emerge off of the west coast of Cuba into the Florida Straits here, drifting to the north at about 10 miles an hour here. And a lot has happened today. So the system has managed to develop a somewhat of a core structure here. It's not very well organized, but it has been able to really consolidate its circulation and somewhat stack its circulation. You can see the mid-level circulation is now in line with the lower level circulation uh, over Cuba here, and it seems that land interaction with Cuba has not done too much to the system. And essentially what we're looking at here is a storm that is going to begin accelerating off to the north as it approaches Florida. And you got tropical storm warnings all the way up the coast here, and you can essentially expect along most of the east coast of or west coast of Florida generally 40 to 60 mile per hour winds off of this system as the storm moves northward, as it will be re-strengthening. Currently it is at 50 miles per hour. It is not a very strong tropical storm right now. It is on the mid grade of tropical storm status here, and it will begin to deal with a trough that you can kind of see outlined here, and that will come down and begin impinging shear upon the system, because currently it has an upper level anticyclone that you can see clearly situated over it with outflow coming out in all quadrants here. It's really been in a favorable upper level environment for the past couple of days. It has just failed to really organize and take advantage of that incredibly favorable upper level environment here. So if we look at the radar, kind of get a deeper dive into the system's core, you can see the system is somewhere in here. You can see a couple of swirls. There's a swirl coming off of the west coast of Cuba, and then here's the main kind of dominant overall vortex here. And you can see some banding structures developing here and trying to curl around. It's not very well organized, but it still has a structure nonetheless that may be able to wrap around and begin to intensify. The waters are very warm to the immediate south of the Florida Keys, but once you get up into the eastern Gulf, it becomes a little more difficult for the storm as the waters are slightly cooler there. It's not, something that's unconducive for tropical or intensification, but it is less than what it is currently under and what it has been under over here in the south of Cuba here. But as it emerges, it should begin to consolidate, and it will probably intensify some. If we go to the National Hurricane Center shot here, you can see that it is supposed to turn northwestward and then gradually turn off to the north and hit somewhere in the Big Bend area. We could see a trend to the east here, since it has emerged a little bit east of where it was forecast to make uh, an emergence over the Florida Straits. So it may take this eastern track here and maybe run into Tampa. But again, as we've been saying for the past couple of days, everyone on the west coast of Florida really does need to be prepared for this system, as the core of the winds doesn't really matter. If it doesn't hit you, you're still dealing with a lot of rain, a lot of storm surge, and let's actually get right into these graphics here. The peak surge graphic here shows 3 to 5 feet of storm surge from Aquila, or this river here, Osceola River, all the way down to Englewood, and that is 3 to 5 feet of storm surge along this part of the coast here. And it's really on the if the circulation comes ashore here, then if you're on the eastern side of the system, all that water is going to be pushed onto here. And so as you get closer to the circulation, of course, you're going to deal with more storm surge here. So if you're in Tampa Bay, you do need to be watching this very closely, as this is 3 to 5 feet of storm surge here. This is a lot of storm surge for this region, which is a very flat part of the coast in here. So if you're in Tampa, do be taking precautions and know your surge zone, and listen to your local authorities for the latest on that. There's also the rainfall potential here. You can see this swath of rain that is above 4 or higher, and this could be even worse in certain areas if a certain band sets up here, especially near Naples. That's where kind of the epicenter of the rainfall forecast is. Again, this could move up and down the coast depending on where exactly this storm makes landfall. It could, if it comes up north, then obviously this will play out. If it comes up into Tampa, maybe this gets translated over a little bit, and if it comes into Naples, then this could be translated over a little bit more. But you have, again, the rainfall threat is also there, flash flooding risk is also there, and you definitely need to be watching for that if you are in the western part of Florida here, even up in the Panhandle a little bit, just to the east of Tallahassee in this region. You do also need to be watching this, as it does have the possibility of coming up all the way into here and making landfall to the east of Tallahassee and maybe bringing a lot of rain to this region. And that could also happen. But right now we're kind of leaning towards a more easterly solution, as it has emerged off the coast of Cuba, a little east of forecast. So if you're in Tampa, you do need to be watching this, and be careful, be safe, and have your kits ready, and be ready for power outages and a pretty breezy day and probably a lot of rain. But anywhere between 40 to 60 mile per hour winds should be expected along this part of the coast here that has tropical storm warnings up. So anywhere from the northwestern Florida Gulf Coast all the way south to the Keys, you do need to really be watching this and be ready. And especially if the system is able to intensify a little more. If we go to the radar here, you can see that the banding structure is trying to wrap around. And so if it is able to successfully wrap around and really begin to strengthen, it could maybe get a little higher than the current intensity forecast, which has it at 60 miles per hour at landfall. Could maybe get up to 70 miles per hour. And I wouldn't rule out a hurricane if this is able to really get organized, but that again is on the upper echelon of the possible intensities as the storm comes up north. So be prepared, 40 to 70 mile an hour gusts, and be ready for this system. It is really, it's been a pain to forecast, it's been a pain to track, and it's been a, very difficult system to really pin down. So don't be surprised if this does make any jumps that could be surprising as this comes up north, and be ready. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I hope you guys are staying safe and have a good evening. That's all I got for now. Thanks for watching.